And a very good morning to every one of you tuned in and listening to us here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Adam Naite. Always a pleasure to be serving you a family lessons every Saturday morning, right after the news. 6:15, that is, all through to 7:30. In a world that you can be anything, especially so when a lot of people choose to be mean, to be ununderstanding, to be treacherous, to be wicked, to be like the devil himself, please choose to be a kind person. You choose to be good. Because you see, the good you put in the world will always come back to you somehow. And I know some of us, we are good people, but we encounter people who are so mean that there are times you just want to be mean in return. But that also goes to say that if people's attitudes can easily change you from who you truly are, then it means you can be truly manipulated. And you're not authentic enough. So try to be you. If you're a good person, pray for grace to continue to be good. And let those who choose to be wicked get their rewards. But thank you all so much for joining us. There's so much to share with you this morning. But our conversation this morning was simply saying, when men get overwhelmed. And yesterday I was asking a series of questions. That why is it not okay for our men to be overwhelmed? Why is it just not okay? Why is it not okay for men to voice out their fears and let out their tears? Why is it not okay for them to complain of being hurt and tired and needing support? Why is it not okay for men to speak up and seek help when their women simply drive them crazy, bring them down, trample upon their egos, and make them feel truly small and unworthy? Why is it not okay for them to speak up? Why is it just not okay for men to live and let out their emotions even if they're truly overwhelmed? Why? We will delve into this matter today because I personally believe that men are human beings too. They're socialized to be macho and all that. But to the point where your machoism or whatever it is that we choose to call it is driving you nuts, even to the point of wanting to commit suicide. No, brother. I'm not sure if you're a Christian like we here in the studio are. I am not sure on that day when you meet Christ, you will tell him that because your wife was worrying you, you committed suicide, so he should take it like that. I'd like you to take a listen to this and then we can continue the conversation.
Shut up words and just don't know what to say because I don't know what pushed me to just turn on my radio to listen to Joy FM. I even plan of, committing suicide. I'm going through a lot in marital program.
Okay.
And I don't know who to talk to.
Right.
I don't know who to talk to. But your program has been a very helpful to me this afternoon.
Okay.
And we are going through emotional torture. I'm telling you. Seriously.
I can hear that in your voice, Justice.
Yes.
But
yes. I don't have anybody to talk to.
No, now you do, actually.
Yes.
Now you do. You have a friend on the radio. So just calm down for now. I can hear a lot of pain in your voice.
Yes.
But I think you are probably the reason why we're having this conversation, because as men, we have to be there for each other. Yeah?
Sure.
And the good thing is, look, we're here for you, okay?
Okay.
Okay? So for now, I just need you to calm down. Okay?
Okay.
Are you at home?
Currently, I just took my rope, went outside somewhere, and
you took your rope?
Yes.
Okay.
I almost committed suicide this afternoon.
Okay.
Yes. I don't know what. I'll just put on my radio and in my car and.
Yeah. Okay. So you are in your car now?
Come again.
So you are in your car now?
Yes, please.
Are you at home, by the way?
Not at home, a bit far from my house.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you know what we're going to do, bro?
I need your help.
Don't worry, okay?
I need your help, yes.
Don't worry, we're here for you, okay?
Okay.
So what we're going to do is this. I need you to talk to the first person you spoke to, that's my producer, right?
Okay.
And leave your phone number with him, okay?
Okay.
My team is going to get in touch with you very shortly.
Okay.
We're going to connect you to somebody who will be there for you, yeah?
Okay.
So don't end it at all, okay?
Okay.
Are you going to promise me that?
Yes.
Justice?
Yes, please.
Justice?
Yes.
It's okay, yeah?
Okay.
Don't worry. We'll be there for you, okay?
Okay.
So this was Tuesday afternoon on Drive Time, and Lexus Bill and the team were having a conversation, on man issues and all that. And then this gentleman called in. Daniel Martin, good morning to you. He called me and he says, Adam, this gentleman, I guess, is just the reason you guys are having this conversation today. He called in, and his problem was that he just was going to kill himself. He had bought a rope and he was waiting to take the change somehow. He didn't even know why. And then something just told him to turn on his radio. He did. And that was the conversation we were having on air, the Drive team. And that's how, by the grace of God, the team were able to move in, get psychologists, and get support for him. I won't be able to share the details of his story and what drove him to do that. On the morning show, we had a psychologist who spoke a lot about the fact that generally men don't speak up. I will try and pull what he shared with us and share with you again on the show as well. But this is how we are going to situate this conversation. We want to bring it home. We're not going to be talking far away from our home, because his issue especially were domestic issues, home issues for that matter. We learned that, look, about 6% of men end up committing suicide for various reasons, okay? Women, about 3% will attempt, okay? So usually a woman will consider it attempted, but usually won't, die by suicide. But the men, about 6% of them will do. And this is all because sometimes you're just overwhelmed. His issues were very, very, very domestic, as we learned from him. And that's how come I want us to bring the conversation home. And this morning, like it or leave it, we're going to be centering the conversation also around women. What is it that we do that drive the men in our lives that's mad? And we end up sharing some word of advice to our fellow women. We know the home is made together by the man and the woman. We have had conversations where we have put men on the table and we have dealt with them without saying some. We have dealt with the men. Today we want to deal with the women. If your partner, your husband, your fiancé could be this overwhelmed and you can't be there to support them, and all they will think about is suicide, then we have work to do. And most of these issues are relationship issues, home issues, yes, Could be that the person maybe has lost their jobs, but how are you handling that period for them? Could be that they are unable to do one or two things that are expected of them. How are you supporting them through it? We know women who will end up making their men feel very, very small and unworthy. Within this period, I have heard so many stories, and I ask, hey, I have a son, so I am very, very, very concerned. And that's where the focus of our conversation will be this morning. Ariel, the wellness coach, good morning, and you're welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Adam.
Thank you for coming. Reverend Kofi Boateng. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Adam.
And happy birthday in advance. It's in order.
Thank you.
We will be celebrating in grand style.
We look forward to it.
Yes, indeed.
It's good to be back.
Great. And Mama T.
Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Mrs. Theresa Riafe Asante.
Thank you.
Today, all my things have come.
Yes, I know.
I know. And do we have Kobe on Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, what's up for Kobe? Good morning. Come down, somebody. Good morning to you. When PG saw the lineup yesterday, he said, "My people." I said, "Yeah, it is so," and it feels really very good, because all of you are older than me. I'm your younger.
Oh, sorry about that.
I'm learning very well.
Good to him. I thought I was going to see him here.
PG, indeed. Kobe.
Yes.
True. Okay, so that's the issue we have on our table. I'll quickly like to take your initial comments about what you heard, the young man, and then we will continue. Ariel.
Hi, good morning, lovely listeners. Adam, this is very touching, as you're saying. And Tuesday, I wasn't on radio. I have a master class this month, so I was away at location. But during the master class, somebody brought this conversation up that something is going on Joy FM. Olivia, your help is needed. The men are now saying they need help and all that. And I'm like, 2 weeks ago during the masterclass, the men conversation came up and they said, "Oh, do you teach these things to men?" And I said, "I've created a platform several times, but they don't come up." So they told me. So the next morning I reached out to Lesis and told him I heard this. What was it about? So he sent me the clip. And so I got to listen on Wednesday. And I had about 6 calls, people trying to tell me to tune in, and I was busy, so I called them back later. Wednesday morning, I think Cosmo also had it.
And even the morning show.
And I had calls again at Olivia. I'm like, wow, what's going on? So after I listened to Leslie's Bill's link, I understood. And this is really touching. But the whole thing boils down to well-being and mental health. And if you don't proactively get involved with your own well-being and your health, then you are going to be depleted. You're going to be out of balance. And when you're out of balance, this is what will happen. But it comes down to communication and sharing of needs. Everybody have needs. But a need can't be met if it's not identified and communicated. I think over the years, Adam, over this show, I've always been expressing that our men need something. Our men need help. I've seen it over the years coming, that this was going to come up, that men will have to open up and seek support for their well-being. So a need is there that is not being communicated effectively by our men, and so it's not being met. And sometimes, as you are saying, as women too, we have needs. We are also uncommunicating our needs. And so 2 people coming together, having different needs and not communicating effectively, or sometimes they don't even identify where the lapses are that takes them out of balance. Everybody is a good person. We are all just out of balance. And when you're out of balance and burn out and emotionally stressed, mentally stressed, and you are tired on all the dimensions of your well-being, this is where you end up. Right. And so it is unmet needs over the years, suppressed emotional needs over the years, mental stress over the years, physical tiredness over the years that brings people to this point. And it's sad to see it at this point before they start seeking help. But help is out there for them. And I'm happy we are putting this out for them to know. There's help, a lot of help out there for them. And I'm super excited that this conversation is coming up.
Okay, we will get to the point of help. I'm taking your initial comments. We'll get to the point of help. But then before then, I want us to deal with the home. And like I said, we want to situate this conversation because on the various platforms, different angles of the conversations have been had. On our platform, we want to take the point of view of men and look at how supportive women are and some of the things that we do that drive our men to that point. That's that's how small I want us to have this conversation. Because if you listen to most of them, and I know people, we have had pockets of conversations when this thing erupted, and a lot of people, men will tell you, the women are driving us crazy.
Yeah.
The women are driving us crazy. And that's all. And they lay all the blame on the women. So, okay, what are we doing wrong? Reverend Kofi Boateng.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
Adam, I'm glad that we are finally zooming in on mental health issues for men. It's out there, conversations have been ongoing, but finally we seem to be zooming in specifically on men, and it's a good thing. It's very challenging for a man to express his emotions, especially when these problems, as you narrated earlier, are as a result of marital stress.
Yeah.
So we do know that marital stress can actually trigger depression, you know, in both men and women. But when we're talking about getting help from your wife, how does a man who deems the wife to be the cause of his stress, the cause of his depression, seek help from the same wife, from the same source? So it becomes very difficult. And so the only way for him to get help is actually to go outside. And as I said, men typically are not comfortable sharing their emotions, sharing their psychological challenges, and as even Ariel mentioned, these types of problems are situated in the category of mental health. And when you hear those two words, mental health, it means that, one, we would think that, oh, you're cuckoo, you're crazy, you're insane, you're weak, you're not manly, you know. And so how do you go out and get help? It's very difficult. A man will go out to see a doctor, that is even when he chooses to or decides to. And they will talk about all the symptoms, or maybe I have a headache, and they would never say that, oh, I feel so stressed, I'm tired, I feel very hopeless, I feel wretched, I feel like ending it all. They will talk about the physical symptoms. And so it even makes it difficult for medical practitioners to diagnose men who may need help as a result of depression. How do you go and see a doctor and start talking about your marital problems? And so men find all kinds of ways at covering up these issues only for things to blow up at some point. And so I believe that what we're doing is to encourage men to speak up. But how does a man speak up? What are the avenues opportunities available for men to be able to speak up and share their opportunities? So I think I'll leave it at that for now. And then, yes.
Great, thank you. Mama T.
Right, good morning again to everyone. I am glad. I am very glad. I have asked a few times on my Facebook page. There are lots of women groupings. I mean, women's group, church groups, this one, that one. Where are the men's group? Even in churches, when we have men ministry, they are not attending much. Whoever thought
they are looking for money.
Yes. Whoever taught our husbands, our children, that you are man enough only when you have money, only when you are machoing, trying to take your words, or doing all these things, that is what makes you man enough. They didn't do a good orientation. And this has been there over time. I am so glad to hear a man break down and cry this uncontrollably on national radio or on Joy Radio. It is not something that happens often. Perhaps if they do cry, they cry in their rooms. I was really glad to hear him cry. And I know that perhaps a lot of husbands are also crying the same way. I was surprised to hear him say that I don't have anyone to talk to. And it was good to hear the gentleman tell him, Lexus say that, no, there is somebody to talk to. There is always someone to talk to. Perhaps you think that your difficulty is too much, and so there is no one to talk to. God has intentionally placed people in our way to bring us help. They are our resources. But when you come to a point when you feel that there is nobody to talk to, and so I am here, then you would certainly burn out and you will crash. You know there's something. Now, let me be a little osofu here. When I finish, you give me off.
We are ready.
When you look at Genesis, when God had made man, had formed the physical body, Bible said that God breathed into the nostrils of what he has made, and it became a living soul. I am asking myself, why didn't it become a living spirit, but a living soul? This is the truth. The truth of what I know is that when the soul, which is a combination of your mind, your will, your emotions, they are the most important part of your life. The soul is the link between your body and your spirit. He is the most important. That is why, perhaps for lack of a better word, forgive me, if you meet somebody who is having a lot of mental challenges, or maybe somebody who has gone off, who is a lunatic kind of, and the person may have all of his features or her features there complete. But in our constitution, the constitution is saying that you can do this if you are 18 and of a sound mind. I have told anybody I meet, let no one disturb your mental health. Don't even disturb your mental health. You need your mind to live. And our husbands and our brothers and our sons are losing their mind because a wife is disturbing them. Today I told Osof I will be talking for the men. I will be talking for you, Pa.
Hallelujah.
Because
that's the focus.
The duty of a wife is one, to help you. God said you need help. I am bringing you help. And just to take Ariel's words, this help is here. She doesn't know where you are going. She doesn't understand your pain. She doesn't know anything. She's just there cooking food. She's just there giving sex. You have been told that, you see, I am running.
When the help is the stressor.
Exactly. She's the one causing the pain.
I agree. I understand, but this is what
and that's the category of women we will be talking to today.
I understand that sometimes the help is the stressor. Her duty is to help. Perhaps if she doesn't know what to do, she may stress you.
Okay.
So let's get it going. Let's start from the point of learning to speak. Sometimes at premarital counseling, I'm asking a young couple, young man, your wife is supposed to be your help. What are you doing for which you need help? And you will be amazed to know that 70% of them have not been able to answer this question. I am asking you, what are your plans for life in the immediate term, in the midterm, in the next 25 years, even in the next 2 years, and is sitting there? I am asking the young lady, do you notice that your man doesn't have plans for life? And so what are you going to help with? When she has nothing to work with, she can't do much.
She becomes the devil.
Then she'll begin to turn it on. Why are you quiet? Why are you not touching me? Why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? Before we even get there, I am telling our husbands, the society has placed a lot of trouble on men.
Exactly. I was going to ask
and
that.
One of the trouble is that a man should be able to do sex 2 hours.
Eish.
And when he does that, he is man enough. That is what society has placed on you. And so we have all bought into it. If you are not doing 2 hours, your wife looks at you and she's like, my friend, you are not performing.
Where did she ever get 2 hours?
I don't know.
She's heard it.
And then, yes, and
she's heard other men talk about it.
All of the things we are the jingles you people play. Every man wants to do. It is all about sex. You are doing well. You are doing well. You say, if you do well in the bed, then in the morning your wife will be singing a particular song. The whole society is telling us that you should be the only one who is caring for your home. You should bring all the money, and so you are looking for all the money. You are too stressed. Who told you that the help doesn't have a duty to bring money also? Society is telling you that you cannot cry, and so you are not crying even when you are in pain, and so that is where we are.
Mama T has driven us into it. Let me quickly hear from Kobe. I can't even see Kobe on Zoom. Oh, there he is. On. Kobe, good morning.
And I can see you too.
I can see you now.
I can see you.
Hi, Kobe.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning.
We'll take your initial comment and then I will ask my question.
Yes. I listened to the voice pop audio cut, and then I've listened to what everyone has said, and it is a very disturbing situation. And if you follow social media as well, you find out that a lot of people are screaming silent.
True.
And men are not getting help. And what sometimes I do is when I see situations like this, especially when the ladies come and tell stories, and they are very painful stories about men, and they come and do that to get affirmation, and we don't read behind what they are saying, because there are two sides of every coin. I remember there was one, I challenged the woman. I said, give me your husband's number, I will call him. This is a Nigerian. And she said that, they came from work and it was 7 p.m. and the husband decided that was when he wanted pepper soup. And how can he be so unreasonable? And when she said she couldn't make it because she was tired, the man called the girlfriend, put it on speakerphone, and then left home immediately to go to the girlfriend to go and eat. I said, Madam, you are lying. Number one. And she said the man says she's a lazy woman. I said, no man will judge you a lazy person based on one night's transaction. The next one is, no man who has a girlfriend who can go and eat there. And if you've been in Lagos before, traffic in Lagos is crazy.
Bad.
Will drive home, get home to come and ask for food, and if you don't give, he will go to his girlfriend. If he has a girlfriend that he will go and eat from, he'll go and eat, clean his mouth and come home. So if he calls a woman and puts it on speaker for you to hear, I am telling you, she planned it with the person. He was giving you a wake-up call. But you don't hear. And it was a message. Give me your husband's number, I'll call him. She never responded. Truth is this, many men are suffering quietly. And the suffering men have are very, very psychological and emotional. So there are no visible signs. Very often, we hear men, and he died. He had a headache and he died. Oh, there was nothing wrong with him and he died. Yeah. Listen, many men have died. This man was going to die. But many have died quietly, not by suicide. They just popped off. Recently, I heard of something they call daddy salt. Many men are being killed by their wives. They are being given slow poison. When they get frustrated and they get tired of you, society will judge them if they say they are divorcing. Society will judge them if they find out about their adulteries, so they kill you. It is all because men don't speak up because of the stereotyping. We have been programmed. We have been conditioned. Even in his private room, to cry is a problem. Because to cry to him is a sign of weakness. So he won't cry. So they cry within. But if they will cry, they bury their face in their pillows so that nobody will hear the sound.
All right.
But one thing the psychologist will tell you.
Kobe, we're losing you.
Can you hear me? I said one thing a psychologist will tell you is that crying is also medicine. It brings relief. So it is okay to cry. And if you don't cry positively, cry in your pillow. That if you do this and you do that, then you are a man. If you do this and you do that, you are not man enough. And you are told to your face that you are not man. So men have designed their own coping mechanisms. Drinking has been one of them. They drink their sorrows away. They drink their problems away. Unfortunately, it only lasts for a short while. Come back to reality to come and meet them staring you in the face. Others, they work their frustrations off. So they bury themselves in work. So they'll get so tired that when they get home, the first thing they think about is a pillow and sleep. So they don't have to think about their troubles. Others find their coping mechanism in going to seek solace in other women who would offer them comfort and speak to them.
And collect their money.
Yes, and collect your money on top because they are providing psychotherapy. So they have to take fees. Now, all these things weigh down on men. And society says, don't talk when you're Burma. Those are some of the axioms we have built up and we use, which are sending many men to an early grave. All right. It is the reason why we have more widows than we have widowers.
Lawyer Pencil's song that he sings every day, that the men are dying and leaving the women. But that's
and you know what? The women, they don't care.
Okay.
It is all about self-interests. So when you are going through it, you sit back and watch because they are the ones dishing it. They don't.
Yeah. Home affairs, they are sembeba. Because I mean, these conversations are not conversations that we usually would have. You know, I'm just thinking and wondering why. Because most of the conversations would actually be centered around things that women are going through. But it's very obvious that men are going through a lot silently, like you have all said, because they have been socialized to be strong. So you can't cry. I remember even when the issue broke, we had conversations around here. And by the time we're done with the conversations, I am like, okay, you people say women are complicated, but I guess you people are even more complicated because you have your fellow men who are telling you that, Masa, yeah, it be true. The woman is doing ABCD, but you've still got to be strong. I mean, how is it that a man will go and sit with his fellow man and start crying and start lamenting and start talking and start... Charlie, when you do that, you are not a man. A man, you need to be strong. You need to have a very big heart. You need to be able to take it. You need to be able to figure it out. You know, that's what men do, Charlie. Because a man, I'm like, one moment, you don't have anybody to talk to. Yeah. We're offering the support. Talk. Then it is the same men who are saying that it is not manly to go and be wailing and crying and being all emotional, then they'll hit your back and say, man up, you know. So how do you want us to do that? That was how I ended the conversation. I said, look, you people are just too complicated. I think you people are more complicated because we will go and cry, we will wail, we will lift our hands up, we will throw tantrums, and then by the time you are done, you've let it out a little bit. Maybe you go back to the issues, but you have been able to say, but you say you will say it to you say it, and it is killing you. So what do we do? But that's besides the point. I want us to go into looking at practically some of the things that we women do. I'll start with you, Osofo Kofi. Some of the things that women do that get men so down. Okay. Yesterday on the morning show, I think they had a conversation around a lot of men fathering children who are not theirs. Yeah. You wake up one day and your 15-year-old son is not your son. And I hear a lot of that is happening. You know, it's one of the things that women do that makes a man feel like, if the world hears this, I am done. So why don't I just check out? And they feel like taking your own life is even man enough. I have been man enough to tell myself that I am not taking this, so I am out, so that I don't become anybody's burden. The conversations, these are some of the things that come up, and it is very scary. So let's go into that. Okay. Women, the things that we do that make you people feel like, you know what, I'm better off not being here.
So the first one that comes to mind is financial stress or financial pressures on men. Okay. And go back a minute to what you were saying, how some men don't want to talk or speak up because they don't believe they will get the help they need. If a man needs money and he comes to sit in front of you and cries and laments and does all of that and still walks away broke, how is that going to help his problem? Yeah. And he knows that by coming to talk to you, fine, you may be able to give me hope, but hope is not what I need at that point.
I need money.
I need money to take care of my home. I need money to pay my children's school fees. I need money to be a man in the house. Because my wife keeps telling me that you're not man enough. What kind of useless, irresponsible father are you? You can't take care of your children. You can't pay the school fees. And all that shame drives men crazy. And so he's helpless, he's hopeless, he doesn't know what to do, he's working so hard, but the money is not enough, the money is not coming, his business is struggling, and what is he supposed to do? He's borrowed, now his friends won't even answer his calls because family won't answer his calls because they're tired of lending him money, they're tired of encouraging him and telling him what to do. And so he's so frustrated. But Adam, to also hold brief for women, it's not always their fault. We need to understand that, as I said earlier on, some people are predisposed to depression. It's a biological thing or it's a genetic thing. They've inherited a gene from a parent that makes them predisposed to depression. And so the least amount of pressure triggers these depressive symptoms, and that may drive them to want to take their life and so on and so forth. And so much as we want to lay all the blame on the women or the wives, it may not always be the case. We also have to understand that men also suffer things like postnatal depression. We think that it's only women after giving birth that may go into depression. Some men also go into depression because they've brought another human being onto this earth that they have to be responsible for. And so at that point in time, there's all the pressure on them. They have to raise this child. They have to make enough money to pay school fees and to pay the health bills and to get adequate housing and so on and so forth. All of these pressures put all of these things put pressure on men. Yeah. So
that one, I will strike it out this morning. No.
Why?
Hey.
So exactly, you don't expect a man to go through it. So when a man is going through it, who does he speak to? And what help can you give him? So financial pressures will be one of them. I think some families are expecting or making too much demands on husbands or on men. The nuclear family has expectations. The extended family have their own expectations because you are a man. And even look at some of our cultural practices. In the Akan culture, it is typically the case that parents would not pass on their or bequeath their assets to the men. They will give it to the women because they believe that when you give it to a woman, it stays in the family. But additionally, they believe that men ought to be able to go out and hustle and struggle and make it on their own without relying on family inheritance and so on and so forth. And so you can tell that culturally, men are getting very little help, very little. We don't get as much handouts as, as our women do. We are more likely to want to support, give a hand to the woman than to give to a man because he's expected to be able to go out and do it all by himself.
All right. ICGC Holy Ghost Temple. I hear you are on a bus, on your way to Kwewu, and the way you are enjoying our conversation.
I should have been to that funeral.
Oh, you should have been there. So we wish you a safe journey and continue to enjoy and send a lot of, messages through. Safe journey. God grant you, messy journeys as you go to Kwewu and back. Now, I'll come back to you, Kobe. I want to hear from the men. So financial pressures, and if I am listening to your explanations, also for Kofi, it's not just about the fact that a man may not have enough. It is how we handle it when he doesn't have enough.
That is
because you don't have enough, and your wife is telling you that go and find it. The family, you haven't sent this home, and you haven't done this. You can't do this. You're useless. Look at your fellow men and blah blah blah. Get me this, get me that, and all that. So as for financial pressure, everybody has it. There are people who have financial pressures, and their wives will go over and above and keep supporting and keep encouraging you. It will be well. They will pray with you. They will go and look for some and come and help you and all that. That is what the men want.
Exactly. So
the problem is financial pressure day. Then you are adding your nonsense pressure on top of it for me and calling me useless and everything. That is what the problem is, right?
That is one of them.
Okay. No, I mean in terms of the financial pressure.
Yes.
Ariel, I'll come to you.
Okay.
Let me go to Kobe and then come back. I want to hear from the men today. We are worrying them.
Stop worrying
And when
the
I
men.
come to ask the women, I would want to take more of advice for us women. The men should tell us our problems. Kobe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm back to you. We want to go back to some of the things that we do that put you people down to the extent that a man might want to take his life.
Okay. So Reverend started from finance, but I won't start from finance. Finance comes much later. The first question I would ask is, how often do you hear men say that this year I have to marry? Men are not under pressure to marry. They marry when they want to marry. And men marry who they want to marry. And the first thing I can tell you is that no man would marry a woman he hates. So for him to choose to settle with you, he must love you. So no man marries his enemy. But unfortunately, that is not so for women. Women marry who can look after them and give them security, not who they love.
Not always.
Ask any woman who had multiple partners. When she gets pregnant, who is the first person she informs of her pregnancy?
Who can think?
It is not the man who made her pregnant. It is the man whom she thinks can secure her, look after her and the child.
Hey, Kobe. Kobe, this one is very complicated.
Because when that person has denied and refused to claim it.
Sense.
Okay, so you are talking in the context of people who are single. Because if you are with your husband and you get pregnant, how is it that you are thinking about someone else?
I'm coming there.
Before they choose to get married.
What is happening now.
Say that again.
See, I'm saying, I'm coming there. You will get to understand why the phenomenon we have now is
But
happening.
you have to move fast for me. Time.
Okay. So that is where the problem starts. So a lot of men are dying quietly and suffering quietly because they married a woman who did not love them from the word go.
I thought men say they don't want to be loved, they want to be respected.
Oh, that's
No,
not true.
please go ahead. That is just
No.
Oh, go ahead.
No, but
please.
love is a basic need for every human being.
Okay, I hear you.
So they are being married, and one of the things you will find out after you have married the woman is her words and her deeds would make you know whether she loved you or not. Subai and say saying it me face where they are BP. That's what one songwriter said. So in time, the real intent for the union from the woman's side would begin to show. The next one is sex, a basic need for humanity. The less of it you get, the more frustrated you become. Now, when it becomes a mechanism for reward, it means you are a good boy today, get this. You are a bad boy today, I'm not giving it to you.
Seriously.
Yes. Yes. But the worst part is this. If the person doesn't love you, the person can't give of herself. So even if she has to do it, it becomes more of dutiful sex than pleasurable sex. And you will never find happiness. And your frustration will know no bounds. Then finance comes. And the woman has needs. Some are needs, but in reality, some are wants. But they never separate needs from wants and box all of them together. And if you can't meet them, you're a hopeless man. It will be told to your face, it will be told to your children, to be told to your friends, to be told to your family. Either expressly or impliedly. And they will break your spirits. The fourth one is respect. Now, when all these things, you are not meeting all these, you are not able to give this 2 hours sex, you are not able to do this, you are not able to do this, it all comes down to the level of respect that is displayed to you. So they are able to tell you anything they want to say without caring about even where you are and who is there. So your ego and your self-worth is rubbed on the floor. Then the last part is the acceptance. Now the Bible says, the wisdom of the poor wise man is despised. In our cultural settings, when there's a funeral, they will say, Yenchena Kwejombra. Kwejo might be the youngest of all the siblings. And yet, because he is well-to-do, they will say, Yenchema Kwejombra. The older one, who is perceived not to have made much out of his life, will be sitting there, and then they will ask the question, then why be checked? So in our own social settings, we refuse to accept men who don't live up to the standards that we have set for men. And all these psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, they are draining on a man.
Ooh. This one, Chroma Yedzing. Chroma Yedzing.
See, now let's talk about this.
Kobe, I'll come back to you. Hold on. Kobe, I'll come back. Let's chew on
I want to make this final point about the clip that was yesterday's drive time. The men who are looking after other people's women, children. Well, it happened to Datilante, 3 children. Now, what is the level of support Datilante received from society? The law backs women in such situations. And the principle of law that is used, Reverend can affirm it, is equality is equity. But you see, if you look into that equality as is equity, it was propounded in 1867 when women were not even considered as humans. They were considered as chattel. Reverend can explain chattel. And so at that time, when a woman generates an asset, it is registered in the name of her husband. But the law will protect a woman any day. Go and read Adopsu Act. It is designed to punish men and to protect women. These are things we have done to men by other men with the backing and the support and the coaxing of women. And yet you say, why do men die or why do men cry?
All right. This is a lot this morning. So if you're just joining us, this is Home Affairs. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM. And we have been discussing when men are overwhelmed. We situated it in the context of mental health and mental well-being. Ariel told us that men need support, and it is important for our men to know that there is support out there, because these things are born out of suppressed emotional needs over time, physical tiredness over time, and a whole lot. Reverend Kofi Boateng made us understand that it is challenging for men to express their emotions, and that marital stress can actually cause men to be depressed. Not just men, women as well, but we're focusing on the stresses for men today. I love the initial question Mama T asked. She said, whoever told men that just having money is what makes you man enough? Whoever told you that? So this actually is a wake-up call. Men are suffering quietly. They have psychological and emotional needs that are not being met. Also because there are no visible signs when people are going through psychological and emotional traumas. And they have died quietly. Kobe put it aptly. Why are they not speaking? I guess that's the answer to what Ariel was saying, that there is support, there is need. Talk, seek it. He says they don't because they will be stereotyped. You are a man, you don't go shouting your problems. And then that when these things happen to men, they become, drunkards. Some of them become workaholics. And then they end up seeking solace in the hands of other women. And then we, the same women who are pushing them out there, we start shouting, yay, 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 yay. What crowd do we want? And then eventually they might just end up checking out in a way that is not desired. So I went on to ask, let's look at the things that we women do that put all the pressure on men. Financial pressures, and we have talked about that. It's okay for everybody to be pressured financially, but when you don't have it, how are you treated? Also, for Kofi talked about postnatal depression. I won't go into that.
and prenatal depression.
I am asking myself, when you were impregnating the woman and she was going through the first trimester, hurling and all that, she couldn't eat and all that, you didn't know her baby was coming, When she was in labor, you didn't know her baby was coming. Now that we have to take care of the baby, you are depressed.
Ochia.
As for that depression, we will not At that point, I joined all the other women to say, man, let's take it.
Change some diapers.
I tell you, you are depressed to say. Oh my God. And then when we went to Kobe, we talked about sex. Being, no, that was not the first point Kobe made. He talked about, and that was very instructive for me. I'm sure we'll be having a whole show on that issue as well. Why would you even marry a woman who doesn't love you? And how do you know the woman loves you before you go into that marriage with her? So a lot of men are stressed, and I so believe it. It's very instructive. You are stressed because you end up with a woman who doesn't love you. The woman is with you because of something that you are able to give them. And if that thing is no longer there, and they're not bashing galore. So their words and their deeds will kill you. He talked about sex being the basic need for humanity. And I guess, do men need it more, Mama T? No, we all need it, right? Okay, great. Less of it, he says, can be frustrating. And especially so when we use it for rewards, right? Yeah. Then he also talked about the financial needs. He talked about respect, and then he talked about acceptance. And then some of the, legal backings that women have and all that. Great. So these are some of the things that stress women.
Vita is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, calcium, and iron for your baby's healthy growth. Young Vita, a delicious way to grow. This advert is FDA approved.
Mamba cho mi pie meba sisi.
When we say me ye diane, we say me kokuru maba. Akaga tru ni garlic na ma wo huru egu asanga no.
Chima ya na me hihye me nsa. Me mpese be bubu.
Spices. Omia, e natural. Eno. Na be din tina, abena wemure na nyim da. Manka sa no ho. Me so ntru akakadru na garlic nfa mam. Na wemure na nyim da me yo. Na tiwala ndam bi so. What choose spices to asanga. Me pemi bibia natural. Anti sankofa natural spices. Anti nanka. O send the maranka sa me pemi be natural iti. Sankofa natural spices. Ana na me so. Nchiri nyim. Preservatives nyim. Enya anka sa ye kwom ha to fodi na wade ye. Kakadu enkete prakete. O ye de ebe bibiara.
Sankofa natural spices.
So I'm not sure kasa. Nti wo bibi dem na nti de siem. Sisi ade ni need be ya. Membre. Benya mi bibia natural.
Sankofa natural spices. Proudly Ghanaian.
Enkratui FDA Apendo.
If you're just joining us, this is a playback of our conversation titled When Our Men Are Overwhelmed with Edem Naite. And just to remind you that Yam Vita infant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, and calcium to aid in baby's healthy growth. It comes in 3 delicious flavors: maize and wheat, rice and wheat variants, in 3 unique pack sizes: 50 grams, 400 grams, and 350 grams block bottom pouch. Get the pack that best suits your family needs. Yam Vita, a delicious way to grow. And for your eye care challenges, look no further. Amasha Partners Limited and Eye Care has it all. Your eyes deserve the best care and quality. Designer eyeglasses. Amasha Partners and Eye Care undertake the following services: supply of designer frames, sight testing, supply of lenses, sunglasses, contact lenses, ophthalmologists in attendance and general treatment. Locate us at La Opposite Trade Fair, Spintex, adjacent to ICGC, before Community 18 Junction, McCarthy Hill, opposite Benjay Lodge, North Kaneshi Swan Lake, opposite Green Hand Junction, Achimota, 2nd floor, Dainswa Plaza, Takrady, Axim Road, opposite CBG Bank, Ho, opposite Housing Junction, Kumasi, Airport Runabout, Kolebu, opposite ECG and Kufuria Central Hospital Road, and Tema Community 1 Meridian Plaza. Contact us on 030-2939-850 or 030-277-8827. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Enrich your breakfast with the nourishing goodness of Dano Milk Cool Cow Instant Powdered Milk. The rich taste of Dano Milk makes a perfect combination with your tea, oats, cocoa, etc. to give you that great tasting breakfast you've always desired. Dano Milk Cool Cow is fortified with vitamin A and is also a good source of protein and nutrients such as vitamin B12 and iodine to help keep you nourished and strong always. Dano Milk is affordable and in a shop near you. Choose Dano Milk today for your nourishment and build your strength every day. Dano Milk, go for it. This advert is FDA approved. And once again, Yamvita infant cereal with milk is fortified with Nutri-V, which contains 16 essential vitamins and minerals, including zinc, iron, and calcium to aid in baby's healthy growth. It comes in 3 delicious flavors: maize and wheat, rice and wheat variants, and 3 unique pack sizes: 50 grams, 400 grams, and 350 grams block bottom pouch. Get the pack size that best suits your family needs. Yamvita, a delicious way to grow. And are you thinking of where to go this coming summer? Well, Adansi Travels brings you a combo experience as you explore the finest city in Africa, Kigali, and continue to enjoy the glamour and fun in Dubai. These 10 days trip have all you need for a fantastic summer holiday experience you've always wanted. The sober reflection at the Genocide Museum in Kigali, the bustling nightlife in Kigali, the sight of the marvelous architecture in Dubai, the comfort and luxury at the various hotels, the buffet breakfast, and above all, the fun-filled Adanse at 10 party with live performance from Samini at the Dubai desert is too good to miss. You get to experience all of these at a cool rate of $1,650, covering flight, hotel, visa, transport, and many more. Departures from Accra is 11th August, 13th August, and 25th August. It's your choice to choose which date works for you. Book your slot by visiting www.adansitravels.com or call 055-6310-404 or 055-2648-267. Adanse at 10, it's a vibe. Book now to feel the beauty of life with Adanse. Do enjoy the rest of this playback. Thank you all very much for staying with us. This is Home Affairs. We have been looking at some of the things that we do that overwhelm our men and even drive them to the point of wanting to take their lives. Sometimes doing it. I'll come to my ladies in the studio now. Ariel, you've been wanting to talk.
I mean, just what we are saying here, it's bigger than what we are saying here. And
but we need to start from somewhere.
We need to start from somewhere. And the conversation coming up is the best way to start because it's creating awareness. But coming to ask about what our women do that pushes our men to this, and you want us to comment on that, I want to say a few of them. Now, there are basic or 4 important human needs for both men and women. And these needs are acceptance, as Reverend mentioned, attention, affection, and appreciation. Now, when these needs are not met properly or not identified for ways to be created to meet them, we all have issues as human beings. But the reason why our men don't have these needs met by women, especially to put it, is because of toxic masculinity.
Of course.
Ariel, I honestly don't want us to go into that this morning.
But that is the reason why women are unable to also create that safe space.
That still means that we're still making a lot of excuses for women.
No. Let me land.
Okay.
I'm not making excuses for women. No, not at all. Women always make men to feel responsible for their well-being, and my husband has to make me happy, and my husband has to make me happy. And that is number one reason why they make the men feel stressed out for their own well-being. But I'm looking at what we do that doesn't make the men happy. Putting these needs on your man about your total well-being is out of balance. Nobody can meet your total well-being for you, including our men. But the reason why I brought up the toxic masculinity conversation is because before somebody can meet a need, it has to be an opening that I have the need and it can be met. But because of the masculinity side of the whole thing, physical toughness, emotional, men don't want to be emotional. Sometimes you call a man honey or sweetheart and it's like they brush it off sort of. So there is this wall that prevents women sometimes to being making a man feel like you are my baby. You can be a baby here. And so men needs to also let women know that I need you to make me feel like I'm your baby. You can cuddle me. You can do these things for me. So that is where it starts from. The needs should be communicated and identified. And these needs are something that everybody have them. And as I keep saying, I've been teaching a lot of women how to be able to take care of themselves so that they don't put that responsibility on their men. Because your well-being is nobody's responsibility. It is for you to find ways and means to take care of them. And the same goes for men. So women who are out there and saying that I've made a choice to live a certain lifestyle, as Reverend said here, and it's the man who has to bring me that amount of money to live that kind of lifestyle. And if you don't get it, then you are not a man. That is actually, placing a responsibility on someone that is a bit out of balance. But the choices are to be made by two people. Now, when you are making a choice of a lifestyle as a couple, and you both decide that we're going to live in this estate, we are going to send our children to this school, we are going to do this and that, you are making a choice of a financial responsibility. And so I'm thinking about how it becomes the woman's problem or fault when we all can't meet that responsibility.
No, Ariel, you see, I understand what you're saying perfectly. I'm not sure that is lost on all of us, right? But and this is not to say that this is the situation in every case.
Exactly. Yes. That's why I didn't know what to say at some point.
That's how come I said that we are looking at it in a certain context where some of the things that women will do, from the beginning, I did say that there are some of us who are good people.
Yeah.
As much as possible, learn to remain good and not let the meanness of the other person rub off on you for you to become mean.
Yeah.
If you are a good person and you ended up being a wife and the man is being, all masculine and all that, must you end up becoming toxic also because you think this person is being
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So the man not being able to let you have the space to let them know that you love them doesn't mean you should disrespect them, doesn't mean you shouldn't function as a wife for them. And so you can't say that because my man is not good or is not emotionally available for me to love him the way I want, I have to always sulk, I have to always nag. So these are some of the things. Women who are always nagging, complaining, and it's your fault, and it's this, and you are the reason why this is not working well. The children don't have this and all that. These are some of the petty things, but there are bigger issues that also comes up when it comes to why women are unable to meet the needs of the men. And that is what I also want to put across, because there are ways you can meet someone when they give you an opening. And if the opening is not there, you can't meet the need. But respect, as I said, is one thing that everybody wants. Affection, attention, appreciation. This is something I teach women. If you don't appreciate what the person is bringing on the table now, you don't expect him to feel good to bring more on the table. So we need to be able to create affection and appreciation ambience in our homes. If that affection is not there, if that appreciation is not there, you are not encouraging the person to do more than they are doing. And a lot of women find it difficult to say that you haven't done the bigger things and I'm not happy with where we are. And it's easy to say I'm not happy. But that is in itself, it's not a thriving environment to get more. So we need to create affection in our homes for the men, attention for them, appreciation for what they are doing and where they are, so that they will feel more comfortable to even share their fears with you. I feel men are unable to share their fears because they don't feel safe. Because they feel the woman will judge me if I tell her I can't get this, I can't do this, or I'm afraid of this. So they don't open up. So it comes down to how we communicate even as a couple. What will you share with your wife honestly?
No, please, Kobe.
No, please.
Kobe, hold on, please. Kobe, please.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, Kobe, hold on, please finish.
Yes, so that needs to also happen. Women need to create a safe haven for men, so that men can be able to open up and share what they need with them. If you just make them feel you have to be responsible for this, that, we get home and most of the conversation we have is about the things that needs to be done. How do we nurture the relationship in itself? How conscious are we that what brought us together, that feeling that brought us together, just as Kofi said, the man married you because he loved you. So that love or the intimacy you started, how do you nurture it? When we get married, it's about the fridge, it's about the car, it's about the school fees. We don't talk again about the relationship, that bonding that we have. Okay. And that is also part of the problems that men face. So women find ways to nurture a relationship, not just the home. All right. The relationship itself needs to be nurtured with simple activities, simple conversations, things you can do, even rubbing his back from when he comes from work, even rubbing his feet. Surprising him with a lunch at work. Simple things that makes a man feel my wife thinks about me and he appreciates what I do and I have her attention and her affection. That is what they need to feel safe.
All right. Thank you, Ariel. Mama T, let me come to you.
I'm in trouble, eh?
No, you are
not.
No, you are not in trouble.
You're not.
I want to say a few things. The first is that all of us, both of us, men and women, should stop blaming each other in these matters. Over the last 19 years I have been at counseling, I have, by God's grace, encountered 9 people who have become suicidal. Over the last 19 years, I've encountered 9 people who are very suicidal. And by God's grace, they met me along the lines. And truly, 7 of them were men. I have felt suicidal before. In fact, I have felt very suicidal before. When 9 years ago I was diagnosed with cancer, and I had to go through so much. And so many things that affect our mental health has a way of disturbing our whole life. What we are discussing today, just like Ariel said, is something that is entrenched in society over time, and we need to stop with all the blame game, both of us as a couple, and begin to look at what we can do. Some of the time when you are picking these things, and when I listen to Mr. Tabedu and other people I have listened to on social media who are strong, that women are killing their husbands, I am wondering, why would you allow someone to kill you? At the end of the day, your life even is not yours. So you don't have a right to take your life. First, it belongs to God, then it belongs to the nation, and then it belongs to your family and your children. If even your wife is the one who is disturbing you, you want to die for and leave your children. You don't have them, you have your parents. Listen, death is not, it is a very simplistic way of solving any problem. I know many thoughts run through our minds and flood them a lot of times. And people get to a point where they are really disturbed. Look at this man who has a difficulty with his work. And he's not even letting his wife know that my job is on the line. Sometimes you go forth and back and it's a little difficult. I wanted to talk to a woman is telling me, my 2 children are abroad. They are schooling. My husband's business is taking a nosedive. I have agreed to pay for the last boy. His daddy wants to withdraw them. And I said, no, they have just one year to do at medical school and this. Let me pay for one. The man is saying that, no. I am asking him why. He's saying that I am supposed to take care of my children. My wife can't do it for me. And I am still insisting she is there to help. Osofu was talking about if I have money issues. Some women have money and they are willing to help. But my husband is such a traditionally minded man. It must be him